This stunning silver should be stacked or collected by you, serious students of silver. This is the Czech Lion, and this is the day we dive deep into the beast of the East. And by East, I mean the Czech Republic, which is neither East nor really called the Czech Republic by locals, so stay tuned for some reasons why you need to consider this fantastic coin here on the Culture of Currency. Welcome back to the Culture of Currency, where today we finally obtained a coin from a series that I've been chasing for some time in the Czech Lion. As you can see, this is marvelously crafted and has a small story to tell, but before we get to that, we need to know more about this nation so that we understand if what we're looking at has any cultural relevance to the nation. In order to not make this video a 10-part HBO series, I will try to keep this part brief. Experts have discovered evidence of human activity dating back to the Paleolithic era or Old Stone Age. I did not know there was an Old Stone Age or a New Stone Age, and did not think stones really aged as much as just erode away, but that is a conversation for a different video. These groups eventually formed clans and tribes, and eventually were met with the classical era around the 8th century BC by a Celtic tribe where a partnership was founded and a stronghold was created near what is now Prague. As European history goes, from this point there were various visits by friends and foes, causing the blending of peoples and cultures over time. In fact, if you've ever heard of Bohemia, this was the land where Bohemia once stood and now kind of is the area within this republic to the east. One thing that really stands out, however, over time is how the perversion of religion was used to gain power and influence. I'm not going to go in too deep as there is much to say in little time, but the amount of times religion was used for vanity in this time, along with the former communist influence, where the state should be the head of the nation, not a god, must be the reason why close to the majority of Czech citizens are non-religious. When we look into the more modern actions of this region, we would see the nation known as Czechoslovakia split in what is called the Velvet Revolution, creating two nations that still stand today, Slovakia and the Czech Republic. Bordering the Czech Republic are Germany, Slovakia, Poland, and Austria. The Czech Republic benefits from its geography as most of its money comes from exports to nations right beside it like Germany. The Czech are strong in the automotive scene, and if you've ever held a CZ firearm, you know now where it was created. An interesting note is that the Czech are known to have one of the highest consumption levels of alcohol of any nation at roughly 145 liters a person per year on average. The Czech Republic joined NATO in 1995 and the European Union in 2004. There is quite a high life expectancy, around 80 years old, and an average of 1.5 children per woman, which is quite a different story than many of the poorer nations that we've covered on this channel that can average up to 4 children per woman. The national symbol is a two-tailed lion, yay for deformities, and a national anthem called Where's My Home, which may be an actual issue of overdrinking that everyone in the nation deals with. It should also be noted that this beautiful land does have a problem that many Americans can relate to. It's a drug problem. The Czech Republic is known as the methamphetamine capital of Europe. This nation has struggled with this problem for decades, and it doesn't seem to be getting better anytime soon. So if you're a praying person, pray that some help finds its way to those struggling in this hurting land. Now that you understand a little bit more about this beautiful land and its people, let's talk about the coin as we place it on our 60-point scale. When we look at the obverse, we see the seal of the nation of Niue, and I am right with you. A small island in the Pacific has its government seal on a coin from the Czech Republic. It took some research to realize that this coin was licensed by the nation of Niue, which is something I actually do not like. I wish this coin was minted at least in a way where the separate nations did not detract from the focus. I do love the eagle, which is probably a Moravian eagle and is super important to these people. We also see the adorning of the linden leaves, which are important to the culture of these people. The linden tree symbolizes the connection between the living and the dead, and justice and peace. This symbol goes back to tribal clans and is woven into the fabric of culture, as often these are planted at city centers. So what do I think about this obverse? I'm in love with the bottom portion, but the Niue part is a hard pass from me, so I scored a 5. When we look at the reverse, we are blessed with a little reprieve from the sins of the obverse. How beautiful is this image? We have a bold and, dare I say, rampant lion. It should be noted that the Czech lion should have 2 tails, but as anyone would suggest, if you are going to put a lion on a coin, the hind quarters are not the most flattering to focus on, so well done in choosing an image of the front of a lion. We see the Czech Republic in a beautiful font that pops out at you in the same angles as the eagle from the front, which was a nice touch. All of this hovers above the humble crown of the infamous Saint Wenceslas, who was the Duke of Bohemia, and after his assassination by his younger brother and appropriately named Boleslas the Cruel, Wenceslas was given the title of the patron saint of the Czech state. If you've ever heard the Christmas carol, Good King Wenceslas, now you know what everyone is singing about, which ties Christmas into this coin and makes my heart happy. This is a beautiful image and I would not change a thing. It scores a 10. Mintage is where we travel next. This coin has an odd mintage of 26,560. I'm not sure if there's a symbolic reason for this number, but it is fairly low and scores an 8. Cultural significance is always a doozy for me, and we have so many great elements to present. We have the symbolic eagle, Saint Wenceslas crown, the 2-tailed lion, and the linden tree, which, side note, the song Like to a Linden Tree Am I was composed by Antonin Dvorak, who is a Czech composer. Why is this important? Well, because when America was trying to establish its own culture in the 1800s, Dvorak was the composer who was hired to come to this land, and he created the New World Symphony, which had Native American themes and themes of spirituals tied into the symphony for our land. And that is your tech tip of the week. Now back to the coin. As you can see, this is a super significant coin in terms of culture, but we do have the blemish that is in the seal of Niue. It should not be here in my opinion and makes me tear up a little, and I scored a 6. Now let's talk collectability. This is a coin that has a lower mintage and a beautiful design. It should be of note that this coin's design often changes through the years, which is a plus. These factors, paired with a high-quality design and strike, scored an 8, which brings us to uniqueness. I've never seen a coin quite like this coin. Lions are not new to coins, and yet this feels refreshing. The sharp angles of the text and wings help separate the more obscure shapes of the crown and leaves, and having 2 nations highlighted on one coin is pretty rare. I think 100 years from now I would know this coin from other coins, so it scores a 10, which brings us to our final thoughts and score. The Czech Lion crosses the line at 47 out of 60. This is respectable and shows the strength of design in spite of the Niue seal being present. This is a strong series and beautifully done. If you have any coins or silver you would like me to see or share with our viewers, email me at culturecurrency.com or join and post in our Reddit thread, Silver Coin Club. Overall, I highly recommend you purchase one of these coins from the series for your collection, and I highly recommend you remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.